Alright guys, what's up? I know it's been a long time since I've made a video, but if you've ever been in the YouTube business, so to speak, you'll know that, you can get distracted pretty easily, and sometimes you can kind of forget about your channel and what's going on, because you have more important things going on. But I am going to try and be more active. I have some ideas for some videos coming up, so, stay tuned for that. As of now, I have a review for the Adipure 11 Pros. I stated in some of my earlier videos that I really just wasn't a fan of where Adidas went with their new Adipure range. I've always been a fan of the Adipure. I have the 3s and the 4s, and I love them both. And I was really against these. I was like, I'm done with this Adipure thing. I want kangaroo leather. I don't want this lightweight synthetic crap. But what it came down to was I have problems with sizing and finding shoes that really fit my foot right, because I have two different size feet. My right foot is a half size smaller than my left. Makes it a little hard to find a shoe that fits right. And I got some Puma King SLs, and they never really worked out for me, mostly because of sizing. So I didn't really have many ideas left. I was like, well, I've always had success with the Adipure, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. So I went out and got them, and there were some things that surprised me, and there's some things there's some things that I really liked, but there was also some things that really kind of disappointed me, and kind of just what I expected out of this. I'll start off, I got the white and blue colorway. The colorway, it looks really nice. It has a classy look to it, but kind of has that modern twist to it. Not sure how I feel about this little line along here. Some people call it the snot trail. I don't know what they mean by that, but I don't know. I think it'd look better without it personally, but we'll start with the leather upper. The leather, obviously, you can see where it turns into a synthetic. It kind of starts where like the second lace is and wraps around to the inside about the same spot. It's more than what you would get from last year's Adi Zero, but not by a lot. And they use the Taurus leather, like we've seen from the last few Predators. And the leather quality on it is actually very good. It feels like kangaroo leather. Sorry, I got cut off there. Like I was saying, the leather is, thick but not too thick. Feels protective, comfortable, and it really does kind of feel like kangaroo leather. It is durable in the fact that it sticks well to the sole plate. There's no sole plate separation, and it really seems to be holding up in that sense. But the outer layer of the leather has been peeling off. As you can see, it's kind of like, you can see how it's kind of losing that coloring around the edges on both of them. That's not dirt or anything. That's just the leather peeling off. Here's a good example. You can see it pretty well. And I'm pretty sure it did that on the Predators as well from past years when they used Taurus leather. So, not the greatest, but as far as how it actually performs, it doesn't really affect that. We'll move on to the midfoot, where this is the part I don't like. They added a synthetic material. It's kind of like a sprint skin, like you would get from the synthetic Adi Zeros. But, it just really doesn't, it's not what you want from an Adipure. You want a leather boot, you don't want this synthetic crap, to be honest. And although how it feels on the ball isn't that bad, around the bottom, it really hugs your foot tight. So I'm telling you now, if you have a wide foot, this is just not for you. You probably should not get this. If you have a slightly wide foot, like me, you can kind of get away with it with some slight discomfort here and there, but, it's really not made for wide feet, especially if you like to tie your shoes tight. And that's really it with the synthetic. I really wish they just made the whole thing the Taurus leather or whatever, or even if they left, like, the outside synthetic and made the inside leather, something like that. But anyways, we'll move on to the sole plate. And the sole plate I like the stud pattern, I like the bladed studs. It's actually pretty simplistic. The studs in the middle, the one I'm kind of focused on the most, they're taller, along where it has this black flex zone. They're a little bit taller. And you can kind of sometimes feel stud pressure on turf, but it's not bad at all. And I actually think the grip on that it provides is really good. And it's lightweight, which isn't necessarily good or bad. I don't think it helps you out that much. But it's a nice little thing to have, a little bit less weight with the sprint frame that Adidas pretty much puts on all their cleats. So, the sole plate's pretty good. Moving into the sock liner. If I can get it out, here we go. The sock liner has actually been an improvement to the previous Adipures. If you've had the previous Adipures, the sock line is usually pretty minimal, and this one's nothing fantastic, but it seems to stay thicker for longer. It's a little bit thicker than it was, but it also it keeps, you know, it doesn't like smush down like the other ones. It kind of keeps its shape a little better, and it has this like you know, suede finish to it that's pretty comfortable, and you don't really slide around on it. This sock line, it really tells you about the shape of foot you really need to have. And it kind of works out for me because I have a very narrow heel, but it widens out in the midfoot and the forefoot. Well, as you can see, this has a wider forefoot, but the midfoot is very narrow and the heel is very narrow. So if you have if you have a foot that's wider in the midfoot area, you might want to stay away from this. That more or less concludes this. The lacing is slightly asymmetrical. It's slightly off to the side, but you don't really notice it. And obviously, when you get this, you have my coach compatibility if you're into that type of thing, which could be a bonus. But I didn't really go for that. I just went for the Adipure itself. It's a good boot. It's overall comfortable. Some problems here and there with the synthetic part, but it really, for what you're paying, you're not paying. You can get these for around $110 to $120 at this point, and for that they are a good price. The synthetic is like a decent quality synthetic. It's just if you're looking for leather, this isn't what you want. That's really what I have to say about the 11 Pro. For now, I'm just happy to have a boot that fits me and doesn't give me blisters. So that's really all I'm happy about. And, expect more videos from me in the future. Subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, thanks guys. See you later.